So I am back, and here is the rebuilt Miata that needs its engine swap because this one was damaged and needs to be rebuilt from the crash. And we do have a spare ND2 engine which will just pop on into here after a couple tens of hours of works, because I don't know how long it's gonna take. Well, I'll time it this time and we'll see how long it takes, okay? And I'll guide you through the process of how to, well, remove the engine and I guess put another one in. It's very simple actually. I've done it before. I removed an engine. Let's just disconnect, and drop the subframe. Engine goes out. First step, I went ahead and raised the car. This is gonna elevate it and make it easier to reach parts and start disconnecting. So the top of the car, I went ahead and removed this piece, the liner. This also exposes my mistake from earlier where I broke the glass, but it was very simple. Took it out, and this piece as well, which gives us access to the back of the engine here, and this will give us more leverage while dropping the engine, and it should be fine. We had to do it for the previous part, so I did it earlier for now. And next step would be to continue disconnecting hoses, but before that we're going to remove the electronics, disconnect the computer for the engine, as well as the battery to clear up more room, then go with the airbox. So as you saw, we removed successfully all the front air intake as well as the battery, and continued with removing coolant hoses. And this side looking fine. Then we also went ahead and took off the header cover and got the header unbolted at here and at the bottom, so that's good to go. You can't really remove the header, at least I don't know how, without dropping the subframe, so we're gonna wait on that for now. There's still more wires on this side as well as hoses, so we're gonna continue with the hoses here and around the back of the engine, and underneath there's also the transmission, which is the next part. I'm going under the car, and there's like 4 big bolts at 21 millimeters, which is connect right here and back there, which is like the supportive brace for the bottom of the car around the transmission. And you disconnect the rear differential, the LSD, from the drive shaft. And the drive shaft needs to be kept in place because that keeps the transmission oil in place. We got the wheels off now, and this gave us more leverage with the crane. And we have the engine sort of, well, in there. We have it linked up at the front because, well, I can't really get it to reach to the back, and the crane just hits before it has any space for that. And what we need it for is mainly just to lift it up suspended, and if we can suspend it here with the crane and the rear, the transmission with this jack, I think it should be fine. And that way we can then drop this lower section, the subframe, and when the subframe is dropped, the engine will easily just lower down with lowering the jack stand and the crane. So I went ahead and raised the transmission, but then I realized that I still need to get the drivetrain or the drive shaft unscrewed from the rear differential. There are 4 bolts in it, and also the support that I was talking about removing, it does not remove, but since I lifted it here, it did drop down, at least this part right here. So the transmission is free of it, but the rear I just need to sort of lift the car up over here and make space so I can crawl in and unbolt those 4 bolts, get it out, and that way, then once we get the engine up, it should be able to be free. Trick to know for removing the drivetrain or the driving shaft from the rear differential is that if you can get the back 2 wheels up, put your handbrake down, and then you can just move the wheels little by little and get to the 4th bolt because it's spinning around, and that's a moving part. That's what we did, and we got it off. Now, as you can see, it's down there and it's on the ground. It's ready to go. We have the transmission back lifted up. Time to get the engine lifted up. Disconnect the engine mounts is next. Those bad boys. The engine is lifted, and we also got it off the engine mounts. We had to move forward, well, let's say unbolt and move forward the steering wheel, rock and pinion, or whatever it's called. And right here, as you can see, we had to move forward because this little rod center of the screen that's going up, that's to the steering wheel, and it was blocking the access to the bolt to the engine mount. While this one is removed, you have access to there, which you can untighten, and once it's untightened, your engine is free, and now you can actually drop your subframe, which is the next step. But to drop the subframe, you have to prepare, and we're going to put a jack stand under the subframe because we don't want to damage anything. There's Brambos on there, and that would not be great if they fell and something cracked, or like the guard got messed up and started making weird noises. So yeah, let's get the jack under there, jack it up, and hope the subframe doesn't drop too much. Progress is being made, as you see. Subframe is, well, half down. We've been leveraging it with that jack stand, and it's been going down, and as stuff were going down, we noticed some more things that were connected, and we were disconnecting them as seen. This side is already pretty much fully off. This side, though, is still being held on by this long bolt right there, but just a couple more lowerings, and we should be good to go. Fully drop down, and then it's gonna be somehow moving this 150-pound assembly to the side. There we go. There is a subframe, and this time, since I did not want to move the coolers or radiators anywhere, not the radiator and the condensator anywhere, it's still on there, and they came out pretty nicely. Had to really finesse it quite a lot down here to get it out smoothly, but as you see, there it is. There's our engine, and there's nothing blocking it. Now next step would be to lower the engine crane, as well as the transmission. We actually had in the shop, which is surprising, that little transmission lift thing, which works very great, very nicely, and it's holding up properly. Now it's just time to drop the engine. This is the easiest part, and going to be the most rewarding as well. There you have it. Engine is gone. There it is. Engine and transmission. Just chilling. This transmission will be taken apart, put onto that engine block over there, and that engine block will be put back into the car. Today it took 4 hours and 47 minutes. I almost fell over. With 2 people. Me, and I had a person helping me as well, which is nice. And that's, yeah, 4 hours, 47 minutes, quite a while. It has been a while since I've worked on Miata, so kind of was rusty. Didn't know where everything was, but yeah, it looks good. It was long, but definitely not as long as some other cars would take the engine out. Next would be to take the transmission, like I said, from this engine that we just pulled and put it on the engine block, and after that put it all back in. So let's do that and get this car back and running how it should be. Here we are back again, ready to put the engine in finally. This is the good engine. That is the bad engine that has been pulled out. We moved it away to hop the transmission over. All it needs to be is just shoved in, up, connection, secure it, then subframe. So let's get to it.
That's very good news. The car has started without an issue. Had to prime the fuel a little bit. Engine sounds good though, and it started quickly, which I'm surprised. There's lots of gas in the garage now, but I opened it up, so let's hope it's all fine. I don't suffocate in time. Very nice. I'm very happy, and I'm happy that it's successful. I'm gonna heat the car, keep it running. I want to see if the coolant is circulating fine and if it's holding up. It should be. There should be no issues. I filled up on coolant fully, but as you can see, temperature is going up. Let's actually zoom in a bit. There you can see temperature is going up. I'm gonna get it to 210 or right below 210, and then I'll turn off the car and wait for like 30 minutes while I work on changing out the airbag with an actual one.